I hope you can hear me. You may raise
I
your
hear you.
hand or
I hear
react
well.
somehow. Thanks. So I'm Mina Petrova, marketing manager at FTS Group, FTS Bulgaria. And I want to say a big thank you that all of us are here today, especially our guests and attendees, all the registered people that are here. I truly hope this webinar on pharma will be quite interesting for you. Please feel free to ask questions and in the chat or in the QA section, wherever you need. I'll be your host today, and we're really thrilled to have you here. So, we're having this exclusive session focused on document management challenges in the pharma industry and how exactly the mFiles platform, which is, let's say, metadata-driven platform, we'll see today how it helps solve problems. And yeah, this webinar is especially designed for all pharmacy specialists in the manufacturing, in the administrative teams, and like this webinar is for all contract managers, trade managers, hospital directors, IT managers, and actually all people that deal with complex documentation workflows in any way. So I would like to introduce our speaker today, Artem Shpachenko, who is a product manager for mFiles at FTS Group. So he
Hello.
will be our speaker today. Hello, Artem. He will bring a very deep expertise into the platform and exactly how the transformation may happen digitally and AI-powered document management systems. So today with us is also our sales executive, Dimitar Sarafov, who may answer your questions through the whole webinar or at the end. I prefer answering the questions at the end of the session. So let's walk through the demo. Let's start.
Thank you, Mina. Hello, everyone. Yes, as Mina introduced me, I will be showing you how the system work. Actually, I'm in false product manager, project manager, solution architect at our company. I personally work with the pharma companies of different countries. I also have experience with the implementation of mFiles in medical centers, so in clinics. So this industry, I mean, the pharmaceutical and the medical industries are really, I'm familiar with them. So because I work with these customers every day and understand their pains, their requests. I see the evolution of their work with mFiles actually. So this is not something new. And yes, I will show you the process. Actually, what we have, we clearly understand that the pharma companies or medical companies, they require various processes to be automated, but uh, do not be too comprehensive. Do not deep dive with it too difficult with difficulties. We decided to demonstrate you the contract management because it is a common process. It's clear to everyone, and it will show you how the document management approach is implemented to mFile system. Before I start, I will tell you a few words about mFiles itself. If you don't know, maybe you didn't read or so, because mFiles product is a platform for document and information management. This is really important to mention that it's not only document management, it is also information. It means everything you need to automate, various requests, various data, master data, etc. You can implement it within files. For instance, it will not be subject of our webinar, but pharmaceutical companies accept just the contract management or other documents. They also use in files for instance, specific process called HCP management, where they register speakers for their conferences. They also approve their conferences activities, or for instance, engagements of these healthcare professionals to the conferences. This is also specific things. For the medical companies, we had implementations. For instance, the companies that manage the services provided. It's clear because if it's a hospital, if it's a clinic, you have a range of the services, and the services can be changed with the names, with the inscription, with the prices, and it's also parts. So, and everything you think, everything you need to be automated, to be digitalized, can be actually implemented within FALS. This product is developed by Finnish FALS Corporation. Now it's American, with a head office in Texas, but the development office of FALS is still in Finland, and they continue developing and improving the system functionality, and actually provide the releases of new versions every month. So it's really, really cool things. FALS is already about 20 years on the global market, and it's listed one of the top 10 products for document and information management. So you can check it with your IT people, with the reports of Nucleus, Gartner, or Forrester, with the matrices this research organization provide, and you will always find a FALS for the last probably 10, 15 years. And I personally work with the FALS 15 years already. So I see the evolution of this product. I see how we started with a really, really simple solution to these robust things we have now. And let's see the demo. So for the contract management, you now see the interface of a FALS, so-called desktop client. This is FALS installed to your laptop, to your PC or personal computer. As FALS is a strategic partner of Microsoft, and most of the companies in the world are based on the Microsoft infrastructure, it really provides you additional benefits of using FALS. What I mean, FALS is integrated with the various products, apps, services by Microsoft. And first thing is that when you start working with the FALS, it is already embedded to your file explorer. So you do not need, to run some app. Think about it, because you work with the file explorer every day. You store the documents. But instead, you can use in files. The logic will be similar. So you just see in files, you click, and you have a vault, document vault, when the documents are stored, and you log to the system. Pharmaceutical companies and medical companies, everything related to medicines, to pharma, to clinical trials, etc., is extremely regulated industries, and you know that. What does it mean in terms of the automation? That means that you have to be compliant with this. Means that you have to have some solutions or system compliant with the requirements of GMP, or requirements of specific specific industries, or specific requirements for document and record management. And FALS product was initially developed with using these regulations. And when you log into the system, FALS can be integrated out. Actually, it's embedded functionality with Active Directory. So in this case, you will log in with your Windows user. This is one of the requirements, actually, because it provides the kind of password storage, some procedures, some policies. And if you log in with your Windows user authentication, you comply with this. But there are also alternatives. You can also log in with some specific internal FALS authentication, and I will be actually using this approach because I'm going to show you demo now with the roles, different roles like initiator or approvers, etc. So we log it out from the system, log in again, etc. But we here in the File Explorer, this is very important because working with the customers, see the users working. I understand for the years of my work with the files and implementation that user adoption is very important. You may implement extremely nice system, but if no one will be using, if everyone will be claiming, you will never go live. with the system. Uh, what is was something important for mFALS in terms of the user adoption. Actually, according to the Nucleus research, mFALS user adoption rate is 95%. So just only 5% of users cannot understand mFALS. Okay, it's always there are some people who will not understand, but why others can understand? Because of this integration with the file explorer, you already know the system. You know how to copy paste the documents. You know how to drag and drop it. You know about the mouse right click. You know about these functions like forward, back, etc. So it is intuitive for you. You do not need to learn it. And even when we do manuals for each project we implemented, in most cases, the user do not read it. They start system with using their intuition. And now you will see how it works. So let's start from it. We have a contract. So in the real life, we have two types of the contract appearance. The first one is that someone sent us the contract, vendor, for instance. Yeah, they send us by email. Another point is that we have our internal templates and we create the contracts out of our templates. Let's start with the first way that someone sent us a contract. I have some document here stored in my file explorer. Let's say it is a contract. I will simply drag and drop these documents. Yes, and drop it any case. And files will open the cards. So you don't need, and then you have a classification of the document stored depending on the volume of implementation. This classification number of document types, or it's called classes in files terminology, might increase, erase, expand, etc. In this case, we have a contracts, and I will choose, service provision. Let's say that we will have a contract for provision some services from the vendor. Okay, the card is open, so we'll just simply complete it. I choose the vendor, choose the contract type. Actually, this list is very important because talking about the contract management or about the contracts, we understand that the contract document itself is not independent one. We have a contract as a deal with the customer or with the vendor, and we really need to see all the contract documents associated with this deal. And that is also implemented here. So when you create the annexes or amendments, you assign them to the initial contract sign. This functionality is automatic. You don't need, to create some incredible relations. It is embedded to provide you the best way of how to see all the contracts and all the related documents. So we create this contract. We can also add some other lists. It is actually dependent of the implementation. I'm just showing you the demos. It does not mean that you exactly should have the same fields. No. The number of fields, the name of the fields, it is a part of implementation. Again, what we started from is the files, is the platform. So you can create, or our consultants can create anything you want with this. As we talk about the contract management for the pharmaceutical industry of medical, we clearly understand that there are some specific things about pharma should be also mentioned. So we call that this is contract related to some our ecosystem or our direction we work with. For instance, it should cardiology. For any contract, we understand there should be contract owner because at the moment I'm initiator who is creating this contract, but it should be contract owner, and the person might be a different one. That's clearly seen that, for instance, the contract can be uploaded to the system by a system of department, but the real contract owner is the head of department or some other employee. The numbering is also can be provided of the manual way or automatic with some increment. Let's say we have a manual one, the contract number, something like that. If we know about the effective days, we can also set it and expiry, but that information can be entered later. The contract is the document or the transaction where they send money. So it's clearly or we pay something or someone will pay with us. So in this case, we should mention the about amount. Let's say 1,000 without VAT in euro. We also have some specific functionality for currency rates, so we can keep information about the contracts is two currencies, in the contract currency and the so-called budget currency or enterprise currency. because as mostly we work with the global companies, pharmaceutical companies in various countries, it's clear that the currency in certain country is different from the global one. For instance, I don't know if we talk about, let's say, Ukraine, so there is a Ukrainian agreement, but the company, the global company is American one, so their corporate currency is US dollars. So we can, by entering the currency rate between currencies, we can also have automatic storage of the financial information in both currencies. We might think what it is important. And when we save this document, I will tell you why it is important. So now we're saving documents to in file server. Okay. And it is now assigned. So we see the section assigned. In this section, you will see everything assigned to you. This is also a very, very nice thing because various systems, they provide modules, you know, that's for contract management, for HR management, for whatever management, etc. And you should go to the certain module to find what is assigned to you and do your actions like approve or whatever. Within files, everything assigned to you will be seen in one single section. Whether you have contract assigned, whether you have an invoice assigned, whether you have whatever HR order or something else assigned, you will see that here in one window. You will be able to review that or approve it. In metadata card here, when we talk about the process-related documents like contract, we have additional section called the process and participants. And now we see here that initiator, I'm here now, initiator, Helen Johnson. We also have the budget owner, finance, pharmacovigilance, legal. That are roles who will be approving. At your organization, you might have different roles. But what is important that you have your policies or standard operating procedures or your internal policy rules, how to define these approvers. It is written somewhere, or even if it's not written, you know. And you see here that employee is already assigned automatically. So initiator does not need to enter them manually. And that is based on the rules, approval rules we created in the system, and actually it can be administered by administrator of the system. For the global companies, pharmaceutical, whatever other companies, that rules sometimes also involve the amounts. Depending on amount, the approvers may differ, right? And in this case, why we have this budget currency, because if it is a global company, the rules are in global currency, in a corporate currency, not in the local one. In this case, when we store this information in the amount of 1,000 euros, and files check the rules and see who should approve the contracts for the 1,000 euros from, let's say, finance. Okay, it's Elizabeth. So it's automatically signed. So it's also easy. It's good for initiator. Do not think about who should approve. You just created the document, and your role is just to submit it to approvers, and then just check the status, for instance. But before we go with the approval, I would like to show you how to edit the documents, because now we see a document, and actually it's the document is already stored in the server. So I see that in my PC. I think that this document already stored in my laptop, but that's not true. It is stored on the file server. So whatever happens with your laptop, the document is stored on the server. So this is, but and files working with the file explorer shows you like you have it stored on your laptop. This is kind of lie, but this helps users to work easily within files, like in a file explorer approach. Open the document as double clicks like you do normally in File Explorer. The only difference that you have this checkout and read-only options. I will do the checkout. Checkout and check-in are actually the terms of the document management regulations. Again, coming back to compliance, right? Because there is written that check out and check in, not open and close, because there are terms and you have to comply it because you are from pharma company or you are from medical organization. This is just a document. Let's say it's a contract. So I will just make something like form or whatever, and the save. You know how to save documents. It's the same functionality for the saving, the same combination of buttons. But what is important? And files is a partner of the Microsoft. MFAS has the integration with the Office, with the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and you can see the MFAS added here. So you can work with MFAS in Word, open documents from MFAS directly like you open documents from your File Explorer. So it's a kind of native integration. The users working with MFAS, they don't even think that it is third-party product. They think it is a part of Microsoft, and it is something. The only difference is that mFile still owned by mFiles Corporation, but it is absolutely natively integrated. We did some editing, we save this, and we close it and check it in. And the new version of this document is already saved to mFiles. So you do not need to save it on your computer, then to upload it somehow, then to start thinking of what is the version, which is the new one. You haven't such pains, anymore with using files because you always work with the latest version. If you need to understand about the versions, the right click, you see the history, and you see now that we have two versions already. The first one I have uploaded as a Helen, and the second one because I edited this, and we have the version file. This is the audit trail. Again, this is also one of the points of the regulations to be compliant with the GMP, that any system you are using should have audit trail. So any changes done in the system should be stored as a separate version. That's what mFiles do. So that means that you will not have the situation where someone edited something, changed something, and you don't know who did it. You always know that, always, because when you do some changes in the metadata cards or in the file itself, and when you save it, mFiles will create a new version with information about what is the user and the status time of changing this version. Okay, and when the users work with the files with the documents, especially legal specialists, lawyers, they need to easily compare the versions. That's obvious. So how to do that? Let's open the document because we have already revised it. We have already changed it. We have the new version. With using mFiles, we can click on the compare button, and the version window we see in Microsoft Word interface. We select the version 1, let's say, and then OK. And then mFiles will launch Microsoft Word comparison tool, and you see all the changes. This doesn't matter whether you have a track changes enabled or not. Anyhow, all the changes made in the final version will be seen. You see, we compare that in 1 second, okay, in 10 seconds, so a very fast way. In normal life, if you need now, without using mFiles, to compare the versions, how much time you need to spend? Okay, you have to find the first version, the last one. Second, you have to find the previous version in your Outlook on the system, then open them both documents and then to compare. You will spend 10 times more time for sure. But this is just one single operation. And take into account how many features, simple features mFiles has, you can understand that how much time you can save for work. And actually what mFiles says, it is with using this analysis of nucleus or forestry research, working with mFiles saves you up to 35% of your time, working time, which is very important. So you will be more productive if we were using the system like that. Okay, let's go to the approval process. How it's done? I just click the button submit, or I can do the same from the metadata card here with using this state transition submit. It's up to you what to choose. I can also add the comments here. For instance, please approve as soon as possible, and then okay. And the document will be sent now to first approver. And we will be doing this approval now just to see what we'll have at the end. Okay, so I log out with the initiator. I will log in with the first approver, who is a contract owner. Let me just log in. As I said, there are two ways, you remember, of the authentication. You also can authenticate with the Windows user without entering login and password. Sorry. Whoa. One sec, wrong password. Yeah. Okay, here, I already have it assigned. For any assignments and files does for the user, you will receive an email notification. So with email notification, you will have a subject like you have a document assigned, and you might also have the link. By clicking on it, you will be automatically forwarded to files and will see this document. If you don't want to use this, clicking by link, you can log into files and you always see in your assigned, everything is assigned to you. So I'm first approver. I will not spend much time on this, some editing, etc., because it's clear now. We saw how it works. But what is also nice functionality is a previewing. You can click on this preview button and you see preview of the document in files interface. So in this case, you can't actually edit it, but you can review it because some documents might not require some editing from your site. They're very simple, like annexes for the prolonging the contract terms, something like that. So you could just review that. Okay, you are okay with this. Just click the button approve, or you can also use send back for revision if you want. Okay, and now we will do a few additional approvers to understand what will be next. Actually, when we talk about the approval process, there are two approaches for the approval process. The first one is a sequential, what I'm using now, means the role by role will approve. Another one is the parallel. Actually, on the projects, I have a huge discussion with the customers what kind of approach they're going to use. Some of them start from the parallel, say, okay, let's have its parallel approval. And then I asking them tricky questions. Are you sure that anyone from your list of the roles can be first one? Anyone? Okay, they start thinking and saying, okay, no, because the first of all, the contract approval should be, contract owner should be first one. The budget owner, the person who is responsible for the budget of the department spending the money under this contract should be second one. The lawyer should be last one. Okay, and then ask, okay, guys, you have 5 guys in a parallel approval, and you already defined the numbers of 3 roles. You have only 2. Do you really need that 2 to be in a parallel way, or still we have to have just one sequential process? So it always works in normal life. The sequential process is most cases is provided when the role approved by one by one. And here we do the same. So we will approve. Actually, you remember that I added the comments. So how I can see that here you see this icon. So I click here and I see that Helen wants us to this contract to be approved as soon as possible. Okay, we got it. So I will now FaceTime and we'll approve it in a fast way. And yes, I will just add 2 additional approvers. And we'll go to the next. Okay, you see that I could make a less number of approvers for the demo, but we talk about not just about demo for pharma companies of medical organization. We talk about a real processes. So the system I show is something we prepared based on the certain implementation done to the customer. So in this case, yeah, I have to show the real life means that yes, at least 4 people should approve. And the last one is always what I say is a lawyer, is someone from legal department. Just because then in the businesses, the lawyers are responsible for contracts. So during this approval process, others might add various remarks, commands, changes, etc. in the contract, but in final, the lawyer will open this contract for editing and accept changes, or I don't know, there's some provide additional changes. So it's always the last one. So let me do not spend time on this, and I will approve as a lawyer, and we have completed the approval processes. What's next? Next, there are 2 actual ways. Anyhow, the document, the approved document, will be assigned to initiator for further actions. Uh, what are the actions? Actually, the initial one is a kind of registration. So we approve that and then we register. And here might be different out of the system activities. For instance, some our customers, they do registration after the contract is signed. Some other customers do registration before contract sign. So this is something for the discussion. There are no clear way of what is the best approach, but anyhow, the most important is that to provide the document registered. In this case, the specific object called a contract as a deal will be created in the system, and you will be able to assign annexes, amendments to this contract. Now, uh, also, you see now the document with this red icon means that the document is automatically converted to the PDF. This is also functionality available for MFiles additional add-on called advanced rendering. This add-on allows you not just only to convert document to the PDF format, it also allows you to add some specific elements on the PDF layers like barcodes or some text information, stamps, images, etc. So in this case, we have this contract converted with barcodes. And actually, it helps signers to recognize that when it is printed, let's say for the signing, the signatory see this contract with a stamp, with a barcode or some specific other images or labels, and she will be signing that. Another point that if you are using electronic service for e-signing that also can be provided, this another way. So we in this case, we do integration with the e-signing service, the local services, or the global like DocuSign. In this case, the document will be then sent for another, how to say, the sub-process for preparing for signing, sending for signing to the org signatories, or sending for signing to counterparty, etc. But I will not show it this way. Actually, I'm just mentioning that this approach is just to print document out of the system, sign it, and then to upload the scan copy. But another one is to smoothly continue with the e-signing, which is also possible within files. Okay, we have this contract already registered. In this case, we now coming back to what is this? This kind of folders. Yes, those are folders, but those folders are not the same what you have in a File Explorer. In File Explorer, you create the folders and you physically should put something there in. Within files, we talk about the views. Views are so-called dynamic folders. What I mean that here the information is filtered. So any filter you set will display the information according to this filter. Like I have that I want to see the documents with a certain status, with a certain class group of the contracts. And if anything will meet this filter, I will see that. For the moment, I don't have because I have already approved and registered the contracts. So here's nothing. But I can also see here recently registered contract documents. I see there's two documents already, because those documents are met with a filter. Important moment about the permissions we say, because when we talk about the contracts, we understand that that does not mean that any user of the system should see the contracts, all the contracts, right? There are some confidential information. There are some specific contracts we should not share with everyone, and how it is done, how the access permissions are done within files. Any object in a file, I mean the document, there is certain record or whatever, has this part of the information to be completed. It's called permissions. And that permissions are set in automatic way, so you do not need to enter them manually. Absolutely not. And they are set according to the process status. What is important approach for the permissions and files can provide comparing to other system? With other system, you can set the certain users or users group accessing, right? That's true, like I have here, leadership accounting. But approach what files provide is so-called the pseudo user permissions, which means that contract owner, username of contract owner will get the permission. And who is the contract owner? It's a dynamic employee. From contract to contract, this person may vary. But you do not need to create some, very difficult permission approaches. You just only need to set that this is a contract owner. So this role, the guy enter it in the cards as a contract owner will always get access. The same for other roles like initiator or who signed the document or who approved that. Once you set it, the dynamic permissions apply it for any document, and you don't need to spend your time, your administrator don't need to spend your time on changing the permissions. They are always applied. And if the user has no access to the document, she will not be able to find this document. Never, ever. Absolutely disappeared. If we talk about the find document, how we can find, like I said, the first approach is with using these views, because the views are based actually with a certain statuses or filtering. For instance, the contract documents by organization, so we can also see the folder line consulting, for instance, and you see all these contracts by this counterparty, or by business year, by class, by year, etc. Actually, number of these views, these filters is not limited, and each user can create their personal views understanding. But creating views again does not mean that you will see the documents hidden from you. If you have no access, whatever you do, you will not find this document. Even if you're using this search, and what is this? This is so-called full text search. So Infiles provides you search not just only with metadata, because most of the systems provide you search functionality when you enter some ID or some specific fields by date, by year, by ID, by name. Yes, it's possible. But Infiles approach is to provide you full text search. So you might not remember anything about the documents. You just remember some points, some clause, some text. Type it. You just type it here, enter, and you will find. And when you open the document, files will show these documents by scoring. You see here by score, and you can enter preview. In the preview, you will find selected. You see with the yellow color what you have looking for. So it's very easy. It's used by our customers when you need to find something in a quick way. It's kind of your Google inside, and files. So type anything. This is the search functionality, yes. And if you talk about, again, the contract management, and we just have registered the contract, we can see this contract when I say it as a deal. So it's a deal record contract here as a separate object created in the system. All important information was copied from the main contract here, and we have it stored. These records actually are not edited. There's read-only for all the users. But the idea of this records is that to track the contract expiration terms. We understand, we entered the contract start date, we entered the contract expiry date. In this case, now we need to understand in advance from the system the information of when the contract will be expired. So 60 days before the contract expired, the initiator will receive notification, and then at the date of the ending, there will be additional notification sent. Also, another important thing for this contract record is that it accumulates the amounts. So we have the 1,000 euro now for the contract. If we will sign amendment for additional 1,000 euro and we will approve it, this contract record will show us 2,000 euro. If we create the amendment for the prolongation and our expiry date and mention it there will be, let's say, 13th of October 2027, and we also approve it registered, this record will be updated with a new expiry date. So it always shows you the status, the actual status of the contract, where it is valid or not, and it also shows you the amounts accumulated by this contract. Okay. What is also important in terms of the in files generally, because for the contract management, this is the mostly important things I have shown. The only one additional things I would like to show is we started a discussion and I mentioned about the two approaches of the contract initiation way. The first one is when vendor send you, so we're using the template of your vendor. Another approach is when you have your template created. In this case, if you have your template, you can upload it as much as you need the plates here and assign it to certain classes. And then you create it from files, this document, and select, let's say, service provision. And here you see the template assigned to this class. Then the next, actually, the card is the same. We also have one additional step to choose the template. Then we'll just simply, I don't know, doesn't matter. I will enter some information. Okay. Let it be 0. Okay. And create. In case you create a contract out of the template, it will be open before saving to files. You see here, so there's some information added. You see the contract name, you see the provider line consulting. So it's also possible to add the hyperlinks to the mfiles fields to the template. So when you will create a new document, these fields will be automatically populated. Like here we have a contract number, like here we have a line consulting as a service provider, our company address, etc., etc. And then you save it, you close it, you check it in, and you continue with your approval approach, like I have presented before. So, and the difference in approval normally when it is the contract created out of the plate means it is a standard document. For our customers, some roles are excluded, and you can see that in participants parse sections here. You see here the finance, pharmacovigilance, legal are not assigned, means that roles are excluded. That also, this information is also configured via rules. So in rules, you can configure which roles are excluded for whatever reason with using the class, amounts, standard, non-standard. And you also have approval rules when you define which people are assigned if there are no exception found by the system. So again, we're coming back to the general functionality of mfile solution. Doesn't matter what the document is, the approaches will be the same. I mean that you upload documents and the approvers are automatically assigned. You should not think, the initiator should not think of who should approve, just to avoid the human factor errors. That is probably all what I wanted to show you, just to not provide you, a lot of features, functionality, because I can spend more time on showing something, but this is something important. And when you see on the contract management this process, you should also see for your other documents what I'm just mentioning. So if you need HR documents, the approach will be mostly the same, or your invoice documents, payment documents will be mostly the same. From the interface part, I would like to say that we had a demo here. We saw the demo with a so-called mFiles desktop client embedded to the File Explorer, so this requires installation. But mFiles also provides other interfaces like web clients, so you can access mFiles from any your web browser, and also with a mobile, so you can download mFiles app to your iOS or Android smartphone. And actually, this is nice point, especially now when the many managers of the companies, they have a lot of business trips. They're not in a company network, they need to have access to the documents from any point, geographic points or any time. And this case is good approach to have files also installed to your smartphone. You will have the same assignments to the smartphone, and you will have the same features to approve. The only what smartphone is, one thing is a difficult smartphone is a document editing. But actually, if you are a approver, you don't need to edit. You just need to add some comments in case you ask your initiator to provide some revisions or request something from the customer or vendor. Okay, Mina, probably I will now your turn. So this is something. Oh, no. Sorry, one last point. Ha, I missed to show you one very important things. When we have implemented, we have approved the registered document, we can click on these actions and see the list of the approvers, actions done, and even time spent. This can be used actually by your audits when you have the internal or external audit, and this is a process-based audit. For instance, the auditors will check you how your processes, for instance, for contract management, for other documents are approved in accordance to your standard operating procedures. They can check this. They can check this, and actually it is done in that way. That's what I hear from our customers, that they have audits for checking the contracts, documents, etc. They simply have their additional separate login accounts to the files, and they check randomly the contracts, and they say accepted. Because this audit trail also, but in a different way. I mean that you see here the people, the positions, the roles, the actions. This is time you may use it to analyze the bottlenecks of the processes, because when you have no system implemented, you might always have complaints from certain roles that we are overloaded, with the contracts, let's say. But you cannot check whether it is true or not. So but using this, you can see that these actions by employee, by role, by document, by month, year, grouped, and to analyze time spent on the approver. If you see that the person has really huge loads, a lot of documents for the certain period of time, a lot of time spent is elapsed time, not just 3 seconds or so, but spent 100 hours on this. In this case, you understand this is your bottleneck. That's why you cannot move fast in your contract management. So this information can be utilized. You can also export it. This one, you can export actually anything you want from files if you have access to this information. Yeah, this is last, how to say, but not least thing I wanted to share with you. Okay, Mina, your turn.
Thank you, Artem. That was a really nice walk through files and the whole, as I said in the beginning of our nice webinar, the metadata-driven platform. So thanks a lot for your details that you shared with us. I would like to tell our guests that until the end of this working day, they will receive a survey that I'm kindly asking to be filled in so that we make our next webinar on Pharma better and better. And the other thing that I would like to mention is that if you need any details on any case that you have, we are absolutely open for an individual meeting and discussion on your details and on your questions. So please feel free to get in touch with us, to contact us, and to tell us what is your issue, what is your question, or whatever you would like to share with us. So once again, if you have any questions, please write them down. And if you don't have any questions, I would Thank you once again for your presence today with us. Um, yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again. I'm Mina Petrova. It was very nice meeting you today, remaining available. And yes, I would like to close this webinar and tell you and wish you a very nice day. Yes, all the best.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for all.
Thank you.
Okay,
Goodbye.
thank you. Bye bye.